I'm Greg Webber, Webber Surfboards obviously. Tried to work it out about 10 years of age, maybe a little bit earlier. I guess the start came from just the normal things that you do when you're a kid on the east coast of Australia back in 1970-ish. From a design point of view, there's probably two things that are interesting is that my mother was a sculptor. Mum would get me to come in sometimes and ask me to check on the asymmetry of a bust. We both knew that there's a degree of asymmetry that is required to have a sense of reality, otherwise it gets a little bit alien-like if it's pinpoint perfect. And so we would go over and she would allow me to push the eye down or the eyebrow down a bit or change the position of the lip just tiny bits, which doesn't infer that I could do what she did to get it there, because she's obviously a master sculptor. The fact that my father provided every single tool you could imagine and the spaces to do it in the corridor. A sanding was done out the backyard, and that really was a little bit upsetting for Mum because she had a lemon tree and it would just get absolutely coated with the dust. One thing from a confidence point of view, because I'd just done a board and a good surfer at Bondi who'd never talked to me because I'm just a grommet, said, "Wow, man, that's pretty close to being a professional board. Did you do that all yourself?" And I said, "Well, my brother John helped me with the glassing." I asked my dad, what does it take to be the best? And he said with this tone of voice that I can still hear, "Well, someone has to be the best." And I went, "What? That means I could be maybe." I actually thought I would. And it wasn't from an arrogance point of view, because at the very same time, psychologically, that meant that the being of the best didn't have any ego attached to it, because it's a matter-of-fact thing. When all of these things line up, people in the world become the best in their field. So it ruined the striving, but at the same time it gave me this supreme confidence that I thought I would be. And the only reason I could be conceived as that is because of the mix of the experimentation and making a board that actually goes for whoever. I guess there's a drive for most shapers to push the limits. So recently I did a post on the Electra, which is something that I would consider as probably the most high performance board out there at the moment. Sorry, I don't want to sound like I've got a whopping ego, but you can see the way it goes in the wave. Now for these guys at Lucid to now do it in vacuum bag carbon, that is the first time probably since I shaped the very first Electra, so at least in 5 years, that I've gone, I cannot wait to see what that thing goes like. And I give an example of what surfing can do, and not from some arty, esoteric thing. Up at Angari, Yamba, this dude and I didn't like each other at all. And I walked all the way down to the beach, over a kilometre away from everyone else, from the name break, and there's this dude out there, and well, I'm not going to not go out. So I go out there, and we kind of sit a bit distant from each other, and he sees me, and it's spoiling his surf. So I thought I'll keep a little bit away, and then he gets this wave and drops in and just pulls under the lip. It's about 4 to 5 foot. He pulls in under the tube really well, probably as good as I've ever seen him surf. Does a few little turns in the tube and comes out and squares off and then just flicks off. And I hooted without even realising what I was doing. But I don't like you, mate, but that was incredible. And that was good. And he had a smile on his face and it was done. That's one wave sharing in front of someone else. I didn't like him at all. Whatever was the reason, just disappeared. I do think it's one of those activities that can take you completely away from yourself and all of the rubbish